better on the swings, but be a bit longer with your right foot on the ground and just be a touch more patient and line it up. It just looks a little bit rushed. Deep. Let it run, 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 run. Much better. Did you feel something on one?
Yeah, I felt like it was like slower, like it took me ages to actually finish the turn. So that makes sense.
For the start, yeah, I think that does make sense because it looked like you kind of came upright and it was just hard to get around. So it didn't look overly wrong, but it just didn't look like your usual entry. So just stay seated, but the exact same thing after that. Run, run, run. Nice. How'd that feel?
Ready?
Yeah, thought that was really good. Well done. Today is just a typical session for us. We kind of have a blend of different weights involved. We're throwing 5Ks, 4Ks, and then some 3Ks at the end. Mainly a technical session. We're not looking for world records. We're just trying to build on some of the technical points we've been focusing on this block. We're in probably last block really before competition period, so just real kind of attention to detail on some technical things and making sure that we're logging the right volume and getting the right intensity before competition season. How did that one feel?
I feel like I did something in the middle, but I'm not sure what.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought that looked really, really nice. I thought you set it up quite well. In terms of looking at the right foot, even the last few sessions, I thought it was fairly on the money each one. So maybe you slightly came up on 2, 3, but at the same time, kind of keep that pace, keep the movement. I thought that was quite nice. I think solid. Like, first of all, I think it's good that you're down the middle. Just a little bit too quick with the left side, and I felt it just kind of you pulled it off course a bit. So same thing, but just be patient for that right side to come around. What did you feel?
I feel like I just leaned.
Yeah. Thought better. I thought possibly, like if we were talking about where the high point is, the high point looked nearly over here a bit.
Yeah.
So if anything, keeping the right foot on the ground a bit longer to let that high point just be a bit more centered up. You're moving well though.
Yeah, I feel alright.
Yeah. Let her run, let her run, let her run, let her run. Good, yeah, I thought you let it run a lot better on 3. And then 4 maybe you tightened up slightly. But yeah, I thought it was good.
How do you find training here compared to somewhere like UCD? Like, does it feel more comfortable being home?
I don't know, I guess I've kind of, like since 2019 we put this up, so I've kind of always trained here. Like when I was in school I trained nowhere else, so it's kind of nice. Like, you know, the odd time I'd be in Dublin, but it's nice to be at home. I think it's a lot easier for me because the hammers are right there and I'm right here, whereas I don't know, it's definitely nice to have the change of scenery and throw at other places, but I feel like I just know my home cage and I kind of know I've all my set markers, so I kind of can judge where everything's going and stuff better here.
How did that one feel?
I feel like I had back a bit on it.
Like, I think the setup and start looked good, and then maybe the first turn looked just maybe slightly different. I don't know what in particular, but it's good at least you're down the line.
Where would be the nearest spot to go train if she didn't have this at the home?
I'd imagine MTU in the city. So, I mean, it's invaluable just to have a place on site for her to train. Like, because even having a place nearby, you can't guarantee its availability, and she can totally decide for when she wants to train, which is brilliant. So yeah, that's been a game changer for her, just to be able to kind of roll out of bed and go straight into the ring and do her work there, because it's getting more and more difficult nowadays to find places to train. A lot of tracks might have astro surfaces in the middle, or they might be used by local teams. So to have a throwing space available, it's definitely been a big part of her success. Good. Try and bring those arms up, be a bit more relaxed in the swings. It just looks, you can tell the weight's dropped now. So it looks light. So just be a little bit more patient with it, and wait for the ball to move, and yeah. Good. Nice drop. Feel okay?
Didn't feel as nice as the throw before.
Yeah. No. Do you think your right foot kind of came in a bit heavy on 2?
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Which I think comes back to the toe turn. So just making sure that when you're coming around at the start, just let the ball run left. The main goal for me is to remain injury free and get back-to-back training periods done without any interference, and keep accumulating all the throws and all the reps she's doing. So it's kind of each year just adding a little bit more to what we're trying to do, and I think she's handled training quite well now for this past winter period, and hopefully now head down for another block or 2, and come competition season, then the freshness will come back, and she'll be in a good spot.
This is one of my last sessions of the week, so I'm more tired. I've more all my gym work has been done, so I'm pretty dead. So I don't expect anything to be massively far out the field, but sometimes you surprise yourself as well.
How many would you throw of each?
That depends on the time of year and depends on the session, so it kind of varies. Yeah, I always work downwards, so I did a few 5s and then 4 and 3s, just to kind of have a variety.
Relax, let it run, let it run, let it run, let it run. Too much coming up on the left side, be a bit more active with the right side and really try and drive it. Run, 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 run. Nice. You just weren't patient to let that come all the way around. So really, really good into 4, and then just, it's like another entry, just let it go.
Yeah.
Don't interfere with it. Yeah?
Okay. I didn't like that.
Yeah, look, I thought, good thing I thought you're down the middle. But going back to what I was saying about the right side, I felt a little bit of it was being led with the left, and not enough patience to get around and really try and drive with the right side.
How was the overall feeling towards the end of last year, actually? Because it was a big year.
Initially, the focus wasn't getting to Europeans, which she was able to do. And I thought she handled it really well to not only qualify, but also then to kind of regroup and be a force there to get into the final and be competitive. And after that, it was just kind of a mad rush to the deadline for Paris, and she was right there on the cusp of it. But we also knew that Nicola, has the ability to be competitive in those situations, and to get to Paris was just phenomenal. 20 years old, and we had a real sense of that we weren't going to get overwhelmed with the pressure, but just appreciate being in that situation. It was probably as close to a home Olympics as we could get. You could sense that in the stadium, and after it was probably you're probably still digesting it. It was an unbelievable experience for everyone involved to get to there and to represent your country, and you know, I'm a big believer in experience, and you know, Nicola's shown that she can navigate those situations very well at such a young age. So it's kind of again, it's layer by layer, and you know, we're not in a mad rush to achieve our goals, but you're picking up those moments along the way, which I've no doubt down the line will be a contributing factor to wherever she goes. So that was really good.
Is it too steep or
No, they're fine. Good technical throw. Just don't be rushing it on the first swing. So set it up and then drive it. Just looked a little bit like you were trying to force it to go. Okay? Run. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
How's it going with your training?
Good, yeah. And this year's different now because Killian's after coming down to Cork, so I get down pretty much like every weekend, which is nice to be able to come home. But I'm really lucky with UCD. I'm on the Adastra scholarship up there, and they're so good to me. Like, they're really accommodating. I have the gym, and they're always there to help. And same with the track. Like, it's on campus, so it's really handy that like when I'm in UCD, I don't have to leave campus, and then when I'm home, I don't really have to leave home either. So it's quite handy for balancing my training between the two.
How did you first get introduced to the hammer?
I tried it at a local athletics camp, and then was joking about it because like you try all the events at that, and then I was at my neighbour's daughter's communion, so he lives just up the road, and I was like, oh yeah, I really like this, like I think I might try it. And I was joking saying I was doing the counties, and he was like, oh, I actually used to throw it, which was crazy because I never knew that, like, and it was completely by chance. And then it started from there, and then as the years got on, I decided I was doing a lot of running, and I decided hammer was definitely what I wanted to do. And then Killian came on board, and I got an S&C coach and started properly like focusing and saying, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be good at. And yeah, I've had a good few years since.
Is there anything in particular that you're focusing on this year in terms of your training?
I think with the hammer it's kind of good in that there's so many different things you can focus on. Like, I guess I am still quite young in the sport. You don't tend to peak till you're a bit later. You're a bit older, so I'm still working, like constantly trying to develop extra strength, and same with the technique. Like, there's always something that's going to get better, and I'm quite a speed-based thrower, so trying to keep that speed in it as well. There's just like so many things which I think keeps it interesting. There's always something different, and there's always something to work on, so keeps me on my toes.
What's coming up then for the rest of the year? What does it look like?
I guess for me, my first main one will probably be European Under-23s. They're on in Norway in July, so it's kind of all directed towards that at the moment, and then maybe World University Games after that, and there'll be team champs before that, and then nationals, and then yeah, it kind of depends on how I'm doing. World Seniors are on in September, so they'll be pretty tough to get to, but we'll kind of take it as the summer goes, see how I get on at the start of the summer first, then worry about them after.